All right, beautiful beings. So grateful for all of you for showing up. Happy 2023. Oh, we got one more coming in. Wonderful. Perfect. Yes. All right. Happy 2023. It is such an honor and a pleasure to be holding space for all of you in this process of your vocal awakening. And I just want to honor each of you for showing up to do this work and for showing up for yourselves, and not only for yourself, but for your community, for your family, for your loved ones, to show up and be a voice, to be in your authentic expression. And I'm so passionate about this work because I've struggled so much in exploring my own voice and my potential. And it's still a work in progress. I'm not perfect in my expression, of course, and there's always more work to do. But I just love supporting other women in this work and being of service in this way. Can you all hear me okay? Yes, we're good? Okay, great. I'm not getting funny looks yet, but it's always good to check in. All right, so if you haven't already tuned into the chat, I invite you to just say a little aloha, introduce yourself, say your name, where you're tuning in from. Um, it looks like I'm at the beach, but I'm not really. I just have this beautiful backdrop. Thought it'd be fun to just switch it up instead of being in my space here in my office. And yeah, so before we get started, I'll give you kind of the general layout of every session, every module that we'll have. Every module is based on an element: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. So there's 5 sessions. We'll meet on Mondays at 3 p.m. Hawaiian Standard Time, unless something crazy happens and I need to change that. I'll let you guys know, but hopefully we'll be able to stick to Mondays at this time. And um, it's best if you have Zoom on your device if you're not already. If you don't already have it on your device, I would suggest to download it. And a really great way to remember that classes are on Mondays at this time is go ahead and put it in your calendar. Make sure it's in your calendar for 3 o'clock Hawaiian time, and maybe even set a little reminder so that you can get all set up and grounded before you arrive into this space. I will be sending out an email every week with the link to the Zoom call an hour before. That way it'll be fresh in your inbox so you're not like jamming to try and find the Zoom link. So that will be in your inbox at 2 p.m. Hawaiian Standard Time each week. And as I mentioned in the email, you don't need an ukulele today. If you have one, that's great. We're not going to use them yet. You'll want them for next Monday. So if you haven't gotten one yet, and if you're kind of wondering where to get one, if you're on Oahu, I love the ukulele site. It's on the North Shore. You can also buy an ukulele online, or you can find them at most music stores. And some people have family and friends that just have an ukulele lying around. I found that really common. So if you're like, I don't really want to spend the money on an ukulele, I would just ask around because a lot of people have extra ukuleles that maybe they also intended to play but haven't played yet and want to. And it might just be sitting around and they'd be happy to let you borrow it or even have it. That's happened to students in the past before. And then if you haven't already responded to the email that went out with the information about the kyanite necklace, go ahead and respond to that. There's 2 sizes, 15 or 17. Some of you are probably wearing yours. You have yours already, Steph? Awesome, beautiful. Kyanite is a really powerful stone for the throat chakra. And when I started working with kyanite, I really started to feel the power of that stone. And that's when I created my first album, Lakshmi Lullabies, when I was working with kyanite. So just a little testament to how powerful it is. And you also have access to the Lakshmi Lullabies songbook. So you should have been able to download that from the link in the email as well. It'll all be included in every email in case you haven't already done that. And then last but not least, you'll all have a discount to shop all my jewelry online for 15% off during the course. So feel free to shop early for any gifts or presents. Valentine's Day is coming up too. You have yours, teen. Awesome. Your daughter wanted to wear it today. Awesome. So sweet. 22 months. Cute. I love that. And yes, feel free to type in anything in the chat. I want you all to connect. This is a space of openness, this is a space of community. And I really want you all to feel like ohana, like family at the end of this course. Like you could share anything and reach out to each other as sisters. And I really want to invite that the understanding that this is a sacred and safe space for you to share what's on your heart. And it's not going to be necessarily gossiped about or shared in other social settings, or talked about. Like, this is a very safe space of sisterhood where we hold everything in confidentiality. Okay. All right. And of course, if you need to hop off the call at any time for any reason, that's totally understandable. And I will have the recording posted within 24 hours so that you can catch up with anything that you missed. So, alrighty. And then Dora asked, what size of ukulele do you recommend or have? I have a soprano, and I really love my soprano. Um, yeah, that's my. But concerts are really great too. The tenors are a little bit bigger. They're like, yeah, they're a lot bigger, and you don't want to get the baritone because that has a totally different tuning, and I'm not even sure how to tune or play the ukulele or that baritone ukulele. Alrighty. I love that we've got Jamie tuning in from Seattle, Anella from New Mexico, Lien from Kailua here on Oahu, Steph from Cleveland. Welcome, ladies. Jenna from Maui, moving to North Shore. Awesome. And April in Portland. McKenna also on Maui or on Oahu. Teen in San Francisco. Cool. And Dora, oh, you're in LA right now. Cool. I love this. And let's see, Anella, you just bought a baritone. Don't have an address. That's okay. Don't have a shipping address. Where are you now? Maybe you could ship it to a neighbor? Or where are you going to be in a week? The unknown, right? Maybe check in with neighbors or friends and family around. Who's got an ukulele? I really don't know much about the baritone, to be honest, so I'm not able to help you much there. Oh, and Lisa, Carmen, tuning in from Costa Rica. How fun. You're traveling the States on a vision quest. That's really cool. Good for you. I don't know, maybe you can find an ukulele at a store nearby. That's what I would suggest. Yeah, just call it in. It'll come. The right one will show up for you. Okay, love. So, thank you all for showing up. I love that we have women from all over the country here today. That's so cool. I love that. So, I would love to just open up our call with a prayer today to anchor us into the light so that this course may serve all of you in the highest and we can be here present with our ancestors and our guides. So just taking a moment to close your eyes and take a deep breath into your heart space. Let out a big sigh with an exhale. Good. Deep breath in. And a big sigh out. We'll do that one more time. Full breath in. And a big exhale out. Mahalo e nā akua, mahalo e nā aumakua, mahalo e nā kupuna. Mahalo to Creator, to our spirit guides, to our ancestors for allowing us to be here in this time. We ask for your guidance, protection, blessings. May we be anchored in light so that we can be in touch with our highest purpose here and now. We ask our guides and our angels to be present so that we can be clear conduits of the messages that desire to move through us for the good of all beings everywhere. We ask for light, white light, to surround us so we can resonate with the highest frequencies that are coming through. And we open this sacred space to the wisdom of all of our lineages, of all of our ancestors. We ask to inspire strength, courage, compassion, joy, love, and health to all beings everywhere through this work that we are doing, right here, right now. And so it is. Mama ua noa. Hmm. Mm. Okay, lovelies. Right as I finished that, like this wind came through the window and I was like, "Oh, they're here. They're present with us. They're already here." Oh, okay, my friends. So, I'm just going to give a little intro about why I'm so passionate about this course and why I decided to create the Vocal Awakening course. It's truly a dream come true for me. And because all of you showed up and signed up for this, you are a part of this dream coming true. So thank you for helping me to realize this and to become a part of this creation. And there's been so many women who I have been gifted the pleasure of sharing this course with and workshops with. I've actually was thinking about it. I was like, there's probably been hundreds of women who have moved through this workshop in different forms, in different ways over the years. And so I just feel really honored to be able to support so many women in this process. And it's really humbling, and it's an honor to be your guide as a facilitator. And I will do my best, very best, to support each and every one of your journeys over the next 4 weeks as we explore our voices together. So we're going to start a group chat so that all of us can stay connected. And I would love for that space to be a place where you all share resources, where you reach out and ask questions, you share your progress with each other. And I've done this on Instagram in the Instagram group chats, and also have done it in Facebook group chats. We could also potentially do it in Telegram if that's preferred. So if you just want to put in the chat which one you would prefer, Instagram, Facebook, or Telegram, which one would work best for you, and then we'll go from there based on the majority. Majority will rule here, and we'll just work with each other on that. So, and then today is obviously our introductory day, so we'll go over some of the practices that I would love for you to continue during the duration of this course, and we'll get to practice those together. And just know that each class is going to be about an hour and a half. It may end up going to 2 hours depending on how much Q&A you have or how many shares there are. So you can go ahead and schedule about an hour and a half into your schedule, into your calendar for this class every week for the next 5 weeks. And then know that there's no such thing as a stupid question. So any questions that you have, just please type it in the chat or raise your hand, and I'd be happy for you to share it. I just want you to know that if you have any question, that somebody else probably has that same curiosity and maybe isn't sure how to ask it as well. And you'll also have access to a private portal on my website that has all of your homework, all of the journal prompts, access to all of the recordings, and any resources that we share in the course. So that'll be listed in the email that comes up tomorrow with the recording. And let's see. Yeah, I think that's basically all I needed to share. For me, a little bit about my story. In growing up, I was always so free in my expression in the comfort of my home. I loved to sing with my sister, and we would play dress up and sing and dance together. But outside of the home, I never wanted to sing or even speak in front of a class or in front of a group. But I secretly dreamed of being up on stage as a performer. And I think that a lot of that fear came from feelings of being unworthy. I also felt like I was being judged and really afraid to be vulnerable. And I imagine that some of you can relate to that. Anybody relate to that? Feel free to type yes in the chat or raise a hand. And this is where we start to really connect. Everybody is like, okay, that vulnerability, that space of openness of, yeah, I totally understand and I've been there before, right? So I was afraid and I didn't want to be judged. I didn't want to be vulnerable. And I didn't want to sing in public, but I loved singing in the comfort of my shower or in my car. And fast forward to becoming an adult, I finally found my voice when I gave birth to my son. And it was in 2008, so he's 14 now, he'll be 15 in February. And I decided to have a home birth. I gave birth in the comfort of my home in the bathroom. And I found that because I wasn't being observed, because I wasn't in a setting where, lots of people were trying to tell me what to do, I was able to feel into my body and I was able to move around how I felt comfortable. I was able to make the sounds that needed to come out of me. And that's when I got really into my sound. I started to notice this natural feeling of like groaning moving through me through each contraction. And I started to make these very powerful primal sounds, deeper than I even knew were possible. It sounded something like I would take a breath when the contraction would start, and then the sound that would come out was something like, oh, just very primal, very natural, very earthy. And every contraction, that constriction, contraction that could be considered pain, that sensation that most people in hospitals or in the health field, medical professionals would call pain of the contraction, I was simply channeling that energy through sound and moving it out of my body. And it was a very beautiful and empowering experience. And I pushed my son out all naturally with the power of my own sound. And it was so amazing. I felt like Superwoman. I mean, this human child came out of my vagina and I was roaring in order to push him out. And once I did, I felt so much love. I felt like I was on top of the world and like I could do anything. And that's when I found my voice. That's when I was like, whoa, there is something really powerful here. And little did I know that same hormone that is released during a natural birth, which is called oxytocin, it's also released when we sing. And it's been scientifically proven that oxytocin alleviates anxiety and stress. And it also helps to promote feelings of love. It's also the orgasm hormone, right? So when you start making love to someone and you're having great orgasms, you're like, I'm so in love, right? And also, just like I said, singing helps to activate those feelings. It brings that forth, that hormone of oxytocin. Yeah, it's really powerful. Yes, and I'm just checking the comments here. You love singing alone in groups, Jenna, but you get nervous when I sing in front of people. Yep. And then for Steph, becoming a mother changed so much for you, right? Yeah. And then oxytocin. It's really powerful. It's really beautiful. So, moving forward, I started to play the ukulele after I gave birth. Like, my son was probably maybe a few months. One of my friends came over and she was playing her ukulele for us, and she taught me a few chords, and we would play and sing together. And that's when I also started my journey with yoga. I was just beginning my journey with elevating my consciousness and learning about spirituality and connecting to the creative source of divine energy within me and all around me. And that's when I started to get into affirmations and mantra music. And I found so much healing in that process of speaking my words into reality and singing the mantras. So I decided to take a yoga teacher training in 2013. I did my first 200-hour. It was a Kundalini yoga teacher training. And I started to play the ukulele to the mantras. And it became so much fun to play these mantras with the ukulele, and I wanted to share them with my yoga classes. And I remember when I was in India doing my yoga teacher training, and I asked my teacher, I said, "Do you think I could share one of the songs with our students?" She was like, "Please, please share it." And so that was the first time I actually sang in front of the group, was with our yoga students in the training. And I just remember being so excited, anxious, fearful, but also really wanting to share this because I know how much healing it had created within me. And my teacher after I shared, I was in tears because it was just like, whoa, that was really powerful. The transmission that's moving through me and sharing my voice and bringing everybody together in song, like how beautiful. And I was going through a big transition in my life at that point and some hardships. And I talked to my teacher about it and I was like, what do I do, Gurmukh? And she goes, no, Ilani, just keep playing your ukulele. And so I always think about that and how much, just that simple advice has helped me on my journey. So I turn to my ukulele in times of trouble and when I'm not feeling good or happy. And that simple tune, the simple melodies of the ukulele bring so much joy and happiness into my body. So eventually, Lakshmi Lullabies, the album was born, and that's a whole nother story that hopefully I'll share in the course. And I started to get invited to play at different festivals here on Oahu and in Japan and in Bali. And now I just love sharing music. And I want to help others to find their voice and recognize that we're all creative beings and that we all have authentic voices. And just like anything in your life, the more you practice, the better you're going to get, right? Whether it's doing yoga and getting your back bend or your chaturanga perfect or your handstands or headstands or playing basketball, you have to practice. And so if you're not practicing using your voice or singing or playing the ukulele, then you're not going to get better. So this is a way for you to step into that creativity and to choose you and to choose your voice. And so my desire with this course is really to activate that authentic expression of your voice that lives within you so that you can continue to consciously create your reality and be aware of that divine potential to create that lives within all of you. And I think, the fact that we're starting this course on January 2nd, 2023, with a new year, it's like we're all setting intentions, we're setting new goals, and it's a time to really move forward in ways that maybe we've wanted to in the past, but we get this like really nice fresh slate so that we can start new. So I really encourage all of you to take the time needed during this course to make sure that you practice every week and that you really take seriously this course and the journal prompts. The journal prompts are really designed to help inspire your original songs and also the thought forms that want to come through, really shifting your consciousness. So I really want to encourage you all to take the journal prompts seriously and take time every week to go through those. And really, for me, journaling has been such a huge part of writing songs for me. And just having a consistent journaling practice allows for that creativity to move through. And even if you're just writing, or if I'm just writing very mundane things like, okay, this morning I woke up at 7:30, I checked the waves, da 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 da, I had some turmeric tea, whatever, like that can be perfect. Like that can be the simple journaling practice. And then the emotions start to come through once you start to get all the like mundane, non-important, uh, logistical things out of your brain, then the feelings can start to come through. So even though we do have journal prompts every week, I just encourage you to take maybe 10 to 15 minutes every day during this course and journal. Okay, I'm seeing some stuff in the comments in the chat here. Which song did you play during the training? It was the Longtime Sunshine song. And that one isn't actually a mantra, it's, a song, but it was in the Kundalini practice, the Longtime Sunshine song is always sung at the end of each class. And so that's the one that I wanted to sing. And that was one that really shifted my consciousness. I'll type out the words here. May the longtime sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the pure light within you guide your way on. And just even having that perspective of like, oh, there's a light within everybody. There's love that can surround us all and that can guide us through. That really shifted my whole consciousness. And to sing that together in group is so powerful. Let's see. Perfect. Teen, I just found an ukulele from a local moms group that I just sent a message on within minutes. Wonderful. It is truly magic. It's all you have to do. I'll tell a quick story. One of my students from last summer, Patty, she was like, "Oh, okay, like I signed up for the course. Now I just have to find an ukulele." She's like, "I don't know where to get one." I was like, "Go to a music store, or maybe just ask your neighbor. Like maybe somebody has one." And her neighbor like literally showed up, like knocked on her door as soon as she had signed up for the course, and she's like talking to her, and she's like, "Do you know where I find an ukulele?" And her neighbor's like, "Well, I have one just sitting around. You can totally have it." Like it literally just happened like that. So it can be really magical. I love that. Yeah, you never know. There's so much magic when we're open to it and when we decide to just be in the flow with it. Okay, friends. So I am going to stop talking and I'm going to invite each of you to introduce yourself and to just share why you decided to join this course. And obviously, we don't have time for everybody's whole life story and bio, but just share a quick little introduction, why you signed up for the course, and make sure to say your name so that we can be sure to say your name correctly. And if anybody can go, just feel free to hop off and we'll do popcorn style. There's anybody that wants to go first. So, your name and why you decided to join this course. Don't make me call on you.
I'll go. I thought April was going because I saw her unmuted, but I'm Steph, and there are a lot of reasons. It was definitely a big intuitive hit of just I need to do it. I found you through someone who recommended your jewelry. I saw a piece on her, and then I got your first email, and I saw this voice activation course, and I was like, okay, I'm doing the next one. Um, but I've always been someone who loves to sing and loves to write. And it's become really clear to me that it's now, like, this is the time. I've been for the last year receiving messages over and over and over in all of these different ways to speak. And I've activated my voice getting sound bowls, crystal singing bowls, and doing some other things. But yeah, that's the very short answer. There's so much, so much to say, but I know it'll be a big catalyst for me in my life and in my business and the ways that I serve others too. So I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Steph. And you said it will help with your business. Would you mind sharing what you do for work?
Yeah, yeah. I'm a transition and transformation coach. So I guide women through seasons of change in their lives, all various different kinds of transitions that, one might go through. And I really stepped into my spiritual life and self in the last year with the birth of my second son. And that has become a big part of my work too, where I'm realizing, oh, I'm channeling and when I'm doing this, or messages are coming through in these ways. And yeah, it just feels like when I'm coaching, I do coaching one-on-one and I do group work, and I don't know exactly how, but I know that this voice activation is going to illuminate a lot for me and for the women that I work with. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for the work that you do. Yes. All right. Anybody else want to share?
I'll go next. My name is Lee Yen, and um, I have been playing music quite a bit, and I've always had this desire to play the ukulele and sing, or any instrument and sing. I separately can play music and I can sing, but very rarely I find that harmony. And this course came at the right time. And I've met you, Noelani, in Oahu one time a while ago, a few years ago. But you hosted Lindsay Wise last year, and she was at my house for an event. And after that event, she and I decided to host a retreat in India together. And that's coming up February 1st. And this is actually going to really support me in, I guess, getting ready for that, because I've had my own retreats where I share music here and there a little bit, but this is going to be another level. And yeah, so thank you. This is divine timing.
Yes, thank you, Leanne. I love that so much. I love that we're connecting here because she did tell me about you, um and I was like, I know her, but I can't put a face to her right now. And then I love that you're connecting with her. She's amazing. And yes, going to India and having these mantras and the ukulele is going to be such an activation. And um, sitting by Ma Ganga, the River Ganges, is going to be a very, very beautiful experience. That's where Lakshmi Lullabies was born, was sitting by Ma Ganga and singing to her. So I love that.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And we're actually going to Kerala, but one day I'll get to
Okay.
the northern part. Yeah.
Yeah. Just being in the energy of India is going to be so amazing.
Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you for
Thank
sharing.
you.
Thank you for being here to do this work. Hmm. All right. Who else would like to
I
share?
will go next. Oh,
Okay. No,
Anela.
go ahead.
Okay. Well, hi everyone. My name is Dora, like Dora the Explorer. I am from the Dominican Republic originally, but I am based half in Los Angeles and half in Oahu, Hawaii. And I used to sing a lot as a kid, and my voice was actually pretty beautiful. I used to participate in like talent shows in school, and singing was just such a beautiful way to express myself. It used to really be a great self-esteem and self-confidence booster for me. And I just felt really connected with something bigger than me. And it made me feel that I belong to something bigger. And then as I grew up into the woman that I am today, I became more self-conscious about my voice, and I found other priorities in life, like, work and making money and building my own company. And now that I am really into my, spirituality and into my spiritual journey, and like getting to know myself from such a deeper level, I just want to use singing as a way to tap more into my power, to go more inward, to release stress from my day-to-day life, and to develop a deeper sense of connection with myself and with others. And I also want to use singing as a way to just shade away sadness, anxiety. And when I sing, it improves my mood so much, and it's just so beautiful. It feels so good inside, and I want more of that. And I'm just being so intentional. I met Noelani a while ago, and I just fell in love with this woman. Everything about her is just so magical. And hearing you sing, it inspired me to really follow that and to tap into that, like, in a way, inner child of mine. I want to let her play more.
Thank you, Dora, for sharing. Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to have you here, and for having known you for a little while now, and to be able to support you in this way and to reactivate that inner child. I feel that 100%. And that really is something that I would love to just really point out for all of us as we move forward in this course is this is really an activation of that inner child that maybe has gone dormant a little bit, because when you do sing and when you play the ukulele, we're calling it playing the ukulele because we're literally playing. And so I want you to think about that as you start to play the ukulele, because it can be a little frustrating sometimes when you're, trying to do things with your left hand and strum with your right hand and you're kind of in your head. Just play. Just play, right? So think about that and think about how a child would be like totally off tune and like da 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 da, like totally not making any sense. And that's okay. And if that's where you are, you think about, the first time you held a baby, for example. I mean, for me, thank you, Dora. I'll take you off here. For me, when I first held my son, I had never held a newborn before. And I was like, oh my God, this is so awkward. Like how to like his head and like things like that. And so that might be how it feels when when you pick up the ukulele at first, or when you're trying to play certain chords and your left hand is trying to play those chords and then you're trying to strum. It's that thing like where you pat your head and you rub your belly at the same time because you're doing different things with your hands. So practice is going to help, but also just have humor with it. Like have patience with yourself and choose to play with it. Like you might be playing it completely wrong, and that's okay. Like nobody cares. I don't care. Just have fun with it. That's really the key. And know that with time and practice, it's going to get better. Especially like, for those of you who are moms, like at first you're like, what the fuck just happened? And then it's like, okay, I'm getting a routine. I'm starting to understand it now. So just have patience and activate that fun inner child. So thank you. Uh-huh. Okay. Who else would like to share next?
I'll go next.
Yes.
Aloha, my name is Anela, and I was actually introduced to this course from Lian. I just got, I've been traveling. I'm like, I'm like on the road kind of thing, not staying in hotels, but like I'm actually driving this journey for a couple years. And one of the places that we went to was Peru in the Voice of Light retreat with Lindsay. And it was so powerful. And when I held the ukulele in my hand, the only thing I could remember was home in the islands, just that verse. And that's all, that's what I always play. But I learned the ukulele when I was young and I used to play all the time, you know. And my grandson is not, I mean, we bought him a ukulele, but all I could teach him was Home in the Islands, right? Just that part, just that, the C, G. So when I got back from Peru, that was the first thing I did. As soon as I got off the plane, I went straight to a guitar store and bought a ukulele, but I bought the baritone. And I didn't know what I was buying. I just loved the tone of it, the deepness. And Leanne had, and I've been playing around with it and doing YouTube videos. And I was looking for a teacher, but I was trying to find the right one. You know, when you're like, oh, the right one will come. So Leanne texts me and goes, oh my God, there's an ukulele class. Do you want to join? And she goes, you have to sign up now. And I was like, okay, I got it. And so I did. So to me, this was complete divine alignment why I'm here in this specific class. It's just everything just um, went into divine alignment. So I'm gonna try to get to one of the towns and get a ukulele. Um, and I'm just really, really excited. And I'm really grateful that you had this class like right now. So
Mm. Thank you so much, Anella. Thank you for showing up, and I love that your grandson's playing the ukulele and that inspired you too. I love how our ancestors like can really just inspire us. And that was one of the things for me too. I was like, I want another way of connecting with my son, and that's why like I wanted to sing him lullabies, and um that was one of the reasons I picked up the ukulele because I felt like I wanted to sing again. And I think that I really, really, truly believe as a teacher that all of us have beautiful voices, that all of us have the potential to really find that special inner voice within us that is just waiting to be expressed fully and beautifully. So I really want to encourage you to remember that each of you have a beautiful voice, and it just takes practice. And even for myself, when I listen to Lakshmi lullabies, for example, I'm like hearing little things where I'm like, oh, I'm kind of off tune, or like that's not the perfect tone, because my voice has progressed since then. I mean, that was 2016 that album was recorded. And even the next album called Follow the Light, I'm like, oh, like listening to some of the songs, I'm like, oh, why didn't my producer tell me like that my voice didn't sound great? But it's like it's out there and it's doing its thing, and it's its own creative entity. And I just want to inspire each of you to know that you could have albums in the future. Like that wasn't something that I necessarily imagined when I started taking ukulele lessons. It wasn't like I'm going to have albums one day and I'm going to write my own music. It was more just like I want to explore my voice and see what's possible, and I want to have fun with this. Um, and then the songs started to really come through. So I invite each of you to know that anything is possible with this. And in fact, one of my students from the last Vocal Awakening course, or no, two courses ago last summer, she's writing tons of music right now, and her songs are incredible. And that's because she takes this course seriously, and she's taking the time to do all the practices and to play her ukulele. And I mean, I kind of think her songs really should be recorded. It almost reminds me of the Beatles music, her lyrics. And with a journaling practice and just taking that time to write and whatever's on your heart, that's when the music starts to come through. And especially those times for me when I'm not feeling good and I write, and it's not necessarily that I'm trying to write a song. I'm just writing down my emotions, and then I can look at what I wrote and be like, okay, that's the story that's happening right now. This is what I'm feeling. This is where my head is and my heart is. But how do I want this story to end up? Do I want to continue on this frequency? Like, am I playing the victim right now? It kind of looks like it. How do I change the story? How do I flip the script? What do I want to be the story? And that's when I write it out, and then I start to sing it, and then that becomes the vibration. So that's the encouragement there. That's the prompt. All right. Let's see. Who else would like to share next?
I'll go next.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa Carmen Wang, and I am an entrepreneur, an investor, a podcaster, a writer. I'm the founder of a company called the Bad Bitch Empire. And we define a bad bitch as a woman who takes charge of her body, her boundaries, and her bank account. And so we teach women how to invest in female-led startups. So that financial literacy, that investing literacy that so many of us miss. And I feel like my voice has really transformed over my lifetime, because I started as someone who was painfully shy, never spoke up in class, and have really overcome a lot of limiting blocks around it, to the point that I record a podcast now. It's called the Bad Bitch Empire as well. So it's the Bad Bitch Empire podcast. I do a lot of paid public speaking. And so I've really gotten comfortable with, I would say, projecting a speaking voice, but I've never believed that I had a good singing voice. And so I've never attempted to sing. And I think recently, from a personal standpoint, I just got out of a emotionally and verbally abusive relationship. And it was very interesting to me looking back on it, because I'm so strong on the outside. I teach so many women how to stay strong in their boundaries. And somehow I attracted the most misogynistic person and completely lost my own boundaries in my personal life. And so I think I lost some of that voice, and was kind of living this dual life of really providing so much strength to others, but then not giving that to myself. And so I think now, just wanting to get back in touch with my feminine strengths, and healing through trying something new, and hopefully transmitting that through songwriting and learning a new instrument.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing, Lisa. It's so great to have you here. Lisa and I met in Miami about a month ago. My sister was performing and I was visiting her down there, and um, it was really hot outside, and both of us just ended up laying down in front of my sister during her performance. It was outside at this beautiful place, and there were like yoga mats that you could lay down on. And Lisa ended up like laying next to me, and I was like, she seems cool. And then we ended up talking story, and it's just fun how you never know what a connection is going to lead to. So thank you for being here, and I love that you have your Badass Bitch company and support women, and really happy to be able to support you in finding your beautiful singing voice that's there within you, waiting to be explored.
And it was really interesting because when I met you in Miami and I was listening to your sister sing the grandmother song, and I was laying next to you, that was the moment I started crying and realizing I had to end it, because it was turning me into the worst version of myself. And so I think the music moved me enough. And then after I had the conversation with you and your sister, and I think the feminine connection was just really powerful.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, it was really beautiful to witness my sister in her performance as well, and um, thank you for sharing that. That was a really powerful song. I agree. And for those of you who haven't heard the grandmother song, it's the words are, I hear the voice of my grandmother's calling me. I hear the voice of my grandmother's song. Um, and that's a really big reason why we're here. You know, we are so blessed in 2023 to have voices as women, to be able to have a podcast, to be able to be paid, right? Like Lisa was sharing, to be paid to show up and have a public speaking performance. We have such privilege, whether we're aware of it or not, in this day and age, to be able to speak and to be able to use our voices in ways that our grandmothers did not have. And so I think that recognizing this privilege compared to our past ancestors, and also providing this opportunity for our future ancestors, for our children and for our grandchildren, to share our songs with them, to inspire them. So thank you for sharing that, Lisa. Who would like to share next?
I can go.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jamie. Um, since I was a little girl, I played piano since the age of 4. I was teaching at the age of like 17, and through piano, I found my voice. But it was just for me. I didn't really share it with other people. And then when I was in high school, I was in there was a trio of us who sang, and we used to perform. Um, and that was a lot of fun. I found a lot of joy. I think music has just always been in my life, especially very influenced by my dad, who is also a musician. And but over the years, you know, I learned to avoid conflict and to not speak what was true for me, to hold back what I wanted to really truly say, and to not take up too much space, to play small. And so I stuffed my voice. I didn't share it as much. And I think now, fast forward, um, I think I've always listened to music for so long. I stopped playing the piano, but recently I started playing the Crystal Alchemy Bowls, and that has really connected me back with my voice and just what was it was my inner child and really connecting with what was true for me. And so now I have sound baths each month here in the Seattle area, and I've been vocal toning. I've been writing my own songs. I've been singing other people's songs, and it's just been very healing. And I find that music is a universal language that everybody can understand, and it brings joy. My dad has dementia now, and that's the only way I can truly connect with him is through music, and it's teaching me to be really present and in the moment, and it's just very healing. And so last year I was considering a vocal coach, but I didn't know how to find one, and I wanted to again, I think was it Anella who said, like, you know, you got to find the right one that really resonates with you. And so, and then again, just a few months ago, I was like, okay, what I'm gonna do 2023, just thinking about how I'm gonna set up my this company that I have, um, setting up my goals, and I want to continue the sound baths, and I also do retreats. But Teen, who's also a sister here on the call, she emailed me this class, and I was like, oh my God, this is a sign. Like, I have to take this. And then, and Noelani, like, I've been a fan of your music too. So I was like, oh my God. And I love Hawaii. Like, my parents got married there. We were just there like 2 weeks ago. But like, yeah, so everything is just, it just feels so, so aligned. So I'm so grateful to be here with each of you. So thank you for this opportunity.
Mhm. Thank you so much, Jamie, for showing up for yourself. Thanks for sharing your story. Thanks for listening to my music too. I love that. Yeah, and I'm just so excited for all of you as I'm listening to your shares, and um, I just know I can feel the power of this group. Even when everybody was signing up, I was like, oh, this is going to be a good round. Like, I can feel it. I can feel these women are ready. And starting off 2023, like, there's so much power in this group. So I just thank each of you for being vulnerable in your shares right now. And know again that this sisterhood, this family, like, you all can reach out to each other and connect. And you're going to continue to inspire each other by sharing your stories and by sharing your songs that are coming through. Okay. So we've gone about through half of you. Let's go ahead and share some more. Who would like to go next?
I'll share.
Yes.
Aloha. My name is McKenna. And oh my gosh, yeah, this is a powerful group. Everybody who's shared so far, just thank you so much. I'm so grateful to be in this space with you. And it's just amazing, like how we all ended up here, and like how much I know we just relate, like all of our stories, like everything you're saying. I'm like, oh yeah, me too. Like, yes, like same here. Like, and Jamie, like I especially resonated with like what you last said, just in relation to family. And like, so growing up, like I loved to sing, like I was in choir, but like, oh, never really was, just afraid to like take it the next step further. My grandpa was a musician, like just like small kind, like here on Oahu, he would perform with the band, and people call him like the Hawaiian Elvis kind of thing. But he was mostly like a Kani Kapila guy, like just backyard jam sessions, like karaoke, like at the family party kind of thing. Um, and my grandmother on my other side of my family, she was a singer too. I connected with her more the last 2 years. She also has dementia, so that was really in the last 2 years where I connected with her a lot through music. And just remember hearing her stories, and then just kind of her listening to me, like writing, playing with my ukulele. Like I've been playing the ukulele for like 10 years that I've had one, but always kind of just would play on and off and like put it down, like I'd be sitting on my wall for who knows how long. And so when this course came through, I don't even remember how, like I don't even think I was following you, Noelani. Like I think you just popped up on Instagram, and then like I started following you, and then right after that I saw the course, and it just seemed like this just makes sense. Like I just felt like I was just led to, like, yes, I need to this is what I need to do. And like right before, I literally got a pimple on my throat. I feel like I don't even need to say anything else like besides that. And yeah, and just being aware that I have this block in my throat center, but I have so much that I want to share, like that I do share through my poetry, like through my voice and singing, but just that fear of putting, yeah, of just being vulnerable, putting it out there. And so that's why I said yes to this, and just like putting that investment in. So like I'll take the time and the space, like each week, like surrounded by women who are on a similar journey, supporting, and yeah, to just finally like do it and be committed, and like and show up for myself like in this new year. So I'm very excited, and yeah, mahalo, and I look forward to getting to know more of you more. And yeah, just let's go, let's get it. I'm ready.
Yeah, let's go. Mahalo, Marina.
Mahalo.
Thank you for sharing. What is your grandfather's and your grandmother's name?
My grandpa's name is Carmine Cueva. He's from here. My grandmother's from California. Her name's Carol Willette. So that's I'm mixed blood. I'm like Hapa. So my grandma is on my Hale side, and then my papa is my Hawaiian side. So yeah,
Beautiful.
Cueva is the last name.
Beautiful. Yeah, I think there's such a power in like naming our ancestors and those who have inspired us and
Mhm.
oh, I love that. Right as I said that, can you guys hear the bird outside? It was like
Right on.
exactly. In Hawaiian, we call that ho'ailona, which is like a sign, and it's usually a sign from nature, but just kind of affirming what was said or stated. One of the other ho'ailonas that I really love is like sometimes when like a deep, profound truth is spoken, um, like the geckos will make their little clucking sound, and it's like, oh, gecko confirmed. The gecko totally confirmed that. Yeah, but those are ho'ailonas. I'll type that in the chat. Ho'ailona. So you can start to kind of look out for the ho'ailona. And even though, this course, I call it a vocal awakening, I share lots of different insights or wisdom that are outside of the vocal awakening. And a lot of my students come back and are just like, that was not just a vocal awakening, that was truly a soul awakening. So just be prepared for like a lot of breakthroughs and transitions and kind of breakdowns of who you thought you were in this course. And it's totally okay. And we're here to support you in that and to accept you through all of it. All right. Who else would like to share?
I'll go. Oh. Hi everybody. My name is April. I found Nolani in 2016 because she had a Kickstarter campaign for Lakshmi Lullabies, and I saw a few people sharing it. And when I heard this song, it made me cry. I was like, I felt free and I felt joyful listening to you. And I was like, that's such a happy instrument. And at that time, I was really stressed with what my work was like and just feeling very trapped. And I was like, oh, this reminds me of being with my family members in Hawaii. This reminds me of joyfulness and being a child. I'm like, I want this. And so I fell in love with the album. Then a year later, it came out, and I've been listening to it for 5 years. And in 2017, I became a Kundalini teacher, and I have used it a lot. And I was like, I need to learn how to do this. I need to learn how to play ukulele with the mantra. And I didn't know about her courses. I wasn't that much on social media, so I hadn't seen the Vocal Awakening until just this year. And I realized that I needed to make some big changes because I became pregnant back in September, and it was a surprise pregnancy. And I'm like, what is this going to look like? Like, I'm really scared to do this. I wasn't planning on doing this. And something that feels right and joyful is song, and I want to have that be part of what I share with this child. And so when I saw the Vocal Awakening come up, I was like, this is right, because I'll have this skill, he'll be hearing it in utero, and then I'll be able to share and sing lullabies to him. So I'm feeling so good that I'm doing something brave, because I wanted to sing. I knew I wanted to sing as a child, but I grew up in a very stoic household where my parents didn't even listen to music. And like, I just felt uncomfortable even just using my voice in a joyful way. You spoke if there was a purpose, and that was it. And so this is going to be the start of a different lifestyle of like creating a home environment where we just use our voice to play and to basically, express and make ourselves happy. So that's why I'm here. And I'm so happy that we all are so similar. I love hearing everybody's stories and the synchronicities, because obviously none of this is coincidence for anybody. And I'm just so blessed. Thank you guys. And thank you, Noelani. This is so good.
Thank you so much, April. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for showing up for you and your future baby, your future child, and as you grow your family. And I love that you shared that you grew up in a very stoic household, and I'm part Asian and like really understand that deep Asian need for like control and like keep it together. And so I'm really going to encourage all of us, especially those who may have some Asian background, where it's like I call it the Chinese dragon woman energy because my grandmother's Chinese and Hawaiian. But it's a very toxic, controlling energy, and it doesn't serve anybody. And so I really want to encourage you to really just let go and release that wild, savage woman inside of you. It feels really good. Yeah. Thank you. All right, Teen, you felt that. Would you like to share, Teen? You've been talked about a lot here today. I invite you to come forth.
Sure, yes. So it feels so right to be here. So I'm just really just thanking my guides and for Stephanie for sharing this with me and Nolani for creating this space. Let's see, music has really been a big part of my life. I grew up playing the piano, similar to Jamie, since I was 4. I was in singing lessons. I used to be part of this like dance group. I was like the solo singer. I would travel around the city performing and all of this. But it was tough because I think as a kid, when you stand out, you kind of get picked on, and it attributed to like me being in the spotlight like, was not a good thing, and I was being hurt and all of that. And so I think I just kind of shut that side of me off. And until recently, when I gave birth to my daughter, she's 22 months now. I felt like I found my singing voice again because I know, babies like music and songs, and it helped me reconnect to that part of myself. And so it's been this really beautiful journey that I feel like I've been on of finding my own voice again, and not only just finding my voice, but finding my singing voice. And so I'm a breathwork and intuitive guide, and I do Reiki as well. And one of the things that I've been thinking about is how much I would love to have sound bowls as part of my practice. And I don't have them yet, but in my last event that I did, I just had this feeling and I was like, sound bowls would be great here. And then as I was giving Reiki at the end of the session, I started singing, and I have never done that before, like in my events. And I do a ton of events all the time, online and offline. And it was the most beautiful way of sharing energy, and people felt it so deeply in ways that I just haven't like received that kind of feedback before from what they were experiencing. And so this just feels like the next step. And a lot of the people that are attracted and working with me are people who are also going through the same thing that I have gone through, which is, finding our voice and unblocking our throat chakra. And so I feel like this is just going to take it to the next level. And so I'm just really, really grateful to be here. And to everyone who has shared and everyone in this room, I'm like, I feel all of y'all. So thank you all.
Yes, 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 yes. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Teen. Thank you for showing up. And I love that we're already, all feeling so connected. And somebody had typed in the chat, sacred mirrors. Who was that? Jamie. Yeah, I feel that 100%, that we're all here because we've chosen to be here in this container together. And I have no doubt that all the right women have shown up to support each other here. So thank you. I just can't thank you enough. All right, we have a couple more ladies I want to share before we get into our practices today.
I can go
Like
next. Hello, my name is Jenna Pasquale, and I'm originally from California. I grew up in the Bay Area, but I've been living in Maui for 2 years now, and I'm moving to Oahu in a few weeks. I decided to join this course because I've always wanted to be a singer and a musician, but I have zero musical background, and my singing voice, I don't have confidence with my singing voice, but I'm a life coach and a laughter yoga teacher, so I'm so comfortable public speaking, and I'm comfortable leading laughter yoga sessions and yoga classes. But when it comes to singing, I get really nervous. And I also have a harmonium, and I feel like it's so much easier to sing with my harmonium because the harmonium resonance kind of like drowns out my voice. But when I start to play the ukulele, I get really nervous. And I've had my ukulele for maybe like 4 years, and I only really know F, C, G, and A minor, so I'm trying to learn more chords. But I opened up your songbook and I'm like, oh, I actually know these chords, so it made it really fun. But the main reason why I wanted to join this course is because I found out that I'm getting really into numerology, and I found out that I'm a life path 5. And life path 5s are all about the throat chakra. So we're meant to be throat chakra healers. And so that just encouraged me to really pursue my dreams of becoming a singer or a musician. And I really love mantra music too. So mantra music is my jam. And I really would like, one of my big dreams is to perform at a yoga festival or some type of mantra music festival, and to, you know, create a kirtan album. And McKenna, when you mentioned the pimple on your throat, it made me laugh because I don't get eczema anywhere on my body except my neck. And that for me is just a sign. I'm like, okay, there's definitely like throat chakra blockages because I only get eczema on my neck. And I actually have it on my neck right now, and I only get it like a few times a year. So I was like, okay, I really need to follow this, you know, calling to be a throat chakra healer and to, you know, unblock my own throat chakra blockages. And then another thing I wanted to share is, Noelani, I didn't know you at the time, but I saw you at Bhakti Fest. I believe it was 2018. And we actually held hands in the closing ceremony. And I didn't know who you were, but I'm friends with Zaire Black, and I saw you in his Instagram story. And I was like, oh, that's the girl that I held hands with at the closing ceremony. So I clicked your Instagram profile. And then that's how I discovered your Lakshmi Lullabies album. And I've just been in love with it ever since.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. I love that so much. That was a really pivotal time in my life to go to Bhakti Fest that year in 2018. And I just love that we held hands in the closing ceremony. How synchronistic. That's great. I love that. Oh, thank you so much for sharing, Jenna. And that's so interesting that you get eczema on your neck, on your throat chakra, and that you're a life path 5, and this is what you're here to do. And I just want to say, like, I love that. How old are you, Jenna, if you don't mind sharing?
37.
I love that you're 37 and you still have it as like, I'm going to be a musician. Like, there's no like time like the present to decide to do something new and to take a new career path. So I just really honor that. Thank you for sharing that, and thank you for having that vision for yourself. And I see the Kirtan album coming, and I see you performing at a yoga festival.
And I also really want to be a mom, and hearing all of you talk about how giving birth is also a form of, you know, opening the throat chakra. That's really empowering too.
100%. Yeah. Let's see, Leanne. Oh, you were there too, Leanne, at Bhakti Fest. I saw you crossing the audience space with an ukulele behind your back. I love that. Bhakti Fest was so fun. I met some amazing people there. So funny. I really hope to go back to Bhakti Fest. I haven't been since 2018. I performed 2017 and 18 there. And that was a really big break for me. Like, just to share with you guys a little tangent here. I had released my album in 2016, and I was like, okay, so how does it work? Like, now I get a manager or a booking agent. I was like, well, I don't know what that looks like, and I don't have the finances to pay for that. So I'll just reach out to the festivals that I want to perform at. And I just submitted my music to Bhakti Fest, and they got back to me and they said they would love for me to perform. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's happening. You know, this is really crazy. And I had my yoga studio as well. You know, in 2013, when I finished my Kundalini yoga training, I opened up a yoga studio right away, and it was a women's boutique and yoga studio. And you know, I loved it, and it was really beautiful and a really great gathering space for our community. And after 4.5 years of having the space, I was over it. I was like, I'm not spending enough time in the ocean, and I'm not spending enough time with quality time with my family. I really want to dive deeper into music, and I want to let go of this commercial space because the rent kept going up and up and up. I don't know if any of you have commercial spaces or have had them, but it's not something I would recommend for anybody that likes to be outside or spend quality time with family. And and so I showed up to Bhakti Fest in 2017 to perform, and that was the biggest performance I'd ever had. It was Friday night at Bhakti Fest, and the week before Bhakti Fest, I'd reached out to my commercial landlord, and I asked him, I said, "Can I please get out of my lease? I know I still have at least 6 more months on it, but I really am ready to let go of this space. Like, I just don't, my heart's not in it anymore." And he said, "Let me see what we can do." And so I had my performance at Bhakti Fest on Friday night. As soon as I finished my performance, I saw that I had a missed call from my landlord. And I called him back and he said, "Hey, we found a renter for your space. How soon do you want to be out?" And I was like, "Next week? In a week from today?" And he said, "Sure, a week from today. Sounds great." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's happening. Like, the music is happening. I'm letting go of this space." And that next week, all in 1 week, I had my biggest performance at Bhakti Fest. My boyfriend and I, who, we had kind of been trying to figure out where we were. We'd been together for 7 years. We broke up. I had my 34th birthday and I closed my shop. So all in 1 week, it was like, and now you're a whole new human. So, and I just love that, when we put ourselves out there and we state what we're wanting, like I was like, I'm ready to move more into my music and have that be my focus, then that can come through and the universe can respond. So each of you showing up to activate your voices in this course is just a way for the universe to respond and to support you in that. Okay, thank you for sharing. All right, we have a couple more ladies to share.
Hi.
Who would like to go? Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I'm Cindy. So I'm Lisa's mom. So I'm from the Princeton, New Jersey. So I always like music, like sing, but my voice, I always feel it's so small, cannot open. So my husband can sing well. Every time he sing, so I just feel I'm so bad, Even right now, I joined a local community court. So, it's just a group there. It doesn't matter what I sing like, but this time, like Lisa will come back for the Christmas time at home. She told me she will join this class, just encouraged me to join that one. So I'm so happy. I said, yeah, maybe I should do that. Maybe I can sing. I can really sing. So that's, I think, okay, I'm so happy. So I finally, I cannot say that I'm kind of shy, and then like Lisa, they say that. So, but I'm so happy, so excited to take this class. Also seeing all the young people. I think I'm the oldest one here. I'm retired. So happy to hear. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cindy, for being here. I love that you're here with your daughter and that you're signing up to activate your voices together. Thank you for sharing. Excited to have you here. All righty, who's next? Who would like to go?
I'll go. Hi, everyone. My name is Kelsey. I just want to say it's been super inspiring listening to all of you. I'm just so excited to be here in this online space with you all. So I grew up very shy, and my sister would always sing, and I'd always just kind of be in the background, like letting her sing like crazy, whatever. But over the past few years, I've really been trying to be more expressive with my voice. And this past year especially has been really amazing for me. I've shared so much more of things that have been on my heart, with the people that I'm around. And I've had friends really want me to share. And I feel like I haven't had that a ton growing up. And then over the summer, I took a yoga teacher training and just kind of with the intention of doing it for myself and deepening my yoga practice. And then while I was there, one of my teachers, she actually had a harmonium, like Jenna, you were saying with the that instrument, and yeah, we were saying mantras, and that was so new for me, and I was like, wow, this like feels amazing, like what is even happening? And I actually just recently started teaching yoga classes, and some of the feedback has been like, wow, you have like such a nice voice, like thank you, and that's just been like really interesting for me to hear. So it's been on my mind a lot lately to like open up my voice, and yeah, so I am super excited to be here. And I was texting Noelani at like 10 p.m. last night and just like, do I do it? Do I do it? And I was like, yeah, of course I do it. So yeah, super excited to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelsey. I'm so happy to see your text late last night. I was like, oh, Kelsey wants to join. Awesome. So glad you're
Yes.
here with us. Yeah.
Thank you.
And I love that, for some of you who are yoga teachers here in this space, like to be able to have the opportunity to play the ukulele for your students and to sing with them and bring everybody into song together, whether you're a yoga teacher or not, as Steph shared that she's a life coach, however you wish to share that and bring people into song, it is such an honor and a pleasure to be able to show up somewhere and play a song and invite people to sing with you, because it really opens up people's hearts and it creates this frequency of unity consciousness wherever you go, bringing that oneness to any situation, whether or not you're all of the same background or belief system. You can create that oneness just through song, and it's really, really powerful to unite our voices. So I really hope that you all get the most out of this and feel confident by the end to maybe at least play one mantra for your students or your friends or your family, or just play at a jam session or a dinner or something like that. So thank you all for sharing. I'm loving all of this. I'm loving all the connections here and the vibrations and the vulnerability. Thank you, everybody, for just being open to share your stories and to connect a little bit here. So let's go ahead and get into our practices today. The first practice that I love to share in this course is facial massage. And in this practice of vocally awakening, right? Like we think of this spiritual, heart opening experience, but if we're tight physically, in this area of the throat and the face, then it's going to be harder to open up emotionally, mentally, spiritually. So I like to just start, obviously I have clean fingers. I like to start by just like, a little check-in, like, okay, how does this area, like right along my cheekbones and my jawline, like, okay, is there any tightness there? Kind of feeling into like the place right here, right by the earlobe, right where the top jaw and bottom jaw connect. I personally love a lot of pressure, so you can start to feel like, okay, does that feel good? And then just like almost like you're playing the piano on your face, just feeling into that, feeling what feels good for you. If you want more pressure, I like to actually use the knuckles of my thumbs and kind of start to like press into all this area. And you can always use the I think it's called the gua sha, like those jade facial stones, but there's nothing better than not having to have anything except for your physical body. And that's what I love about the Vocal Awakening course. It's like you have everything within you that you already need. Your voice is a sacred tool of creation. And so using your fingers to actually feel what's happening in your body is such a great way to become aware of what's happening. So I like to take my thumbs on like this part for me, like it's actually like where the canine teeth are. It's like the root of the canine teeth for me is like, whoa. And then all up here, like above the upper lip, like this feels really good. I like to go in little circles. Who's got crunchiness? Anybody got crunchiness in there? Can you feel that? Yeah, there's like some crunchiness happening and just opening, and then going down here. I feel like this little like crack right there. Crack. So you can feel all that. But this is going to help a lot. And I just encourage you to kind of like see where it feels good for you, where you're noticing that there's tightness. There's a lot of crunchiness down here in my chin where the bottom teeth, where the roots are. And then, again, going back up to the throat, or sorry, the jaw, where the top jaw and the bottom jaw connect in here. A lot of people hold tension there, but I can already feel a difference, right? In this like 3 minutes that we've been massaging our faces, I can tell that my lips are a little more like relaxed and soft. I love seeing all of your faces here. I'm gonna put us all in gallery view. How are y'all feeling? This is feeling good? Little facial massage. So this facial massage, I want you guys to do this every day. And you can do this when like, you know, your boyfriend or husband is telling you something that you really don't care about, and you're just like, I'm gonna just massage my face right now, and I'm fully present listening, but I'm also getting something done for myself here, right? Or you could practice it with your children, like, hey, let's do some facial massage. Where does it feel good for you? You could practice it with your husband or boyfriend too. And then once you do the face, then you can start to get into the throat. So again, just come in with kind of like piano fingers gently. These are the lymph nodes right here, here and here. This is one of the lymph nodes are what help to purify the toxins in our body. So you want to be kind of gentle, but you'll be able to notice if your lymph nodes are swollen, and that means that your body is processing some toxins and that, you know, your immune system is kind of low, but it's really good to notice. I like to kind of rub with my 3 middle fingers kind of behind my ears. That feels really good. And then you can kind of like swipe up through your throat. You can kind of get into the back of the neck a little bit here. That feels really good. So all of this that we're working is part of our throat chakra. This is all connected to our Vishuddha, as we say in Sanskrit. That's our throat chakra. So that's where we, our ability to communicate, speak our truth, express ourselves authentically. So now what I'm doing is taking one hand, and it's actually coming to the other side. I don't know if you can see it coming to this side, but I'm taking my 3 fingers and kind of like squeezing, like right at the base of the head, right in the neck, right below the occiput, and just like squeezing, and I can feel the tension just kind of being released here. I'll put myself back on the main screen spotlight for everyone. Okay, so just kind of, again, these 3 fingers are like right here, and I'm just getting in there. But self-massage, my friends, is such an important skill to activate if you don't already. I've healed my carpal tunnel from self-massage and diet change. That's a whole nother story, but just learning how to touch yourself that in a way that feels good and that's healing is really important for, you know, your life in general. And then the other spot that I think is really important that I wanted to share is right up here in the third eye space. So, and then you like kind of take your thumbs and go right along your eyebrows. It can be right on the eyebrows or right above the eyebrows. And there's a lot of crunchiness in there happening that we're releasing. So I really believe that, you know, when we get wrinkles on our forehead, it's just because our muscles are contracting and they're getting used to that. And so it creates these lines. But I think we really have the ability to reverse that by rubbing out those lines. So you can start to feel that. This feels really, really good for me right here. Right at the base of the eyebrows where they connect into the bridge of the nose. So that one feels really good. Yeah, that feels good. And then the last thing is pulling on your ears. Oh my gosh. Does anybody do this already? Has anybody never pulled on their ears before? Wow, yeah. How's that feel, team? She said she never. Feels amazing. So you can decide the pressure and you kind of squeeze them and pull on them. Yeah. This is also really good foreplay, I feel like, because it's like if your body's not relaxed, you can't reach optimal peak orgasm experiences. So pulling on the ears, and they say in like massage and acupressure that the ears actually represent the entire body. So there's like different parts of the ears that represent certain parts of your body. So I'm not exactly sure about all that, but we could pull up a diagram of the ear and it would show you which parts of the body certain parts of your ears are connected to. Okay, and then the last part is just like shake it out. Shake it all out. Shake out the arms, shake out the wrists. Just get a little bit crazy here. Shake it out. Take a deep breath in and a big sigh. We'll do that 2 more times. Deep breath in. Big sigh. And 1 more. Deep breath in. Keep shaking it out. How's everybody feeling now? A little bit better? Yes. Okay, so that was literally like 5 minutes of self-massage, and I feel personally like rejuvenated, renewed, refreshed, and I'm like, okay, I could go again. So that's the simplicity of this facial massage that we just did. It's very simple. You can do it anywhere. You can do it in the comfort of your home. You can do it in your car. You can do it while you're waiting for something. So that's going to be our first practice that I invite you to do every single day. At least spend about 5 minutes just self-massage of the face, all this area. And then our second practice that I love to share in this course is called the Bhramari breath. And if you're already familiar with Bhramari breath, you may know it's called the bee's breath, and it's named after the Indian black bee. They're pretty big bees. They're like these big black bees, and they're in India, they're called the Bhramari bees. And the Bhramari breath is actually known to help alleviate stress and anxiety and depression and more, and it activates the throat chakra. And for all of you who are, really feeling vulnerable or fearful about expressing your voice, this is a really great practice to just tap into your natural expression. And that's why I want to encourage you to do this as well. And what we do is we're going to create a vibration in the throat and the face, and it helps to activate the vocal cords as well as warm them up so that you can prepare for singing. And as you know, your voice comes from the breath, so this practice will also help you in having a longer breath hold so that you can sing your songs. And so in the traditional way, in India, they actually cover different parts of the face. So they're actually covering the ears with the thumbs, the eyes with the pointer fingers, the nostrils with the middle fingers, and the upper lip with the ring fingers, and then right here with the pinky fingers. And for the purposes of, we can do it that way, but for the purposes of just like showing up today in this class, I've simplified it a little bit more. And I'm going to share a resource of a video of actually how to do that. It's hard to kind of do on Zoom in that way because it's like, well, if all of your orifices are closed, how do you know when to stop and to come back into class? Because it kind of takes you on this journey, which is really beautiful. And I encourage you to try that at home, and I'll share the video. But for the purposes of today, we're just going to place our right hand over our heart, or as we say in Hawaiian, our pu'uvai. So the right hand's going to go over the heart, and the left hand is going to go over our low belly, or in Hawaiian we say na'au, and that's one of our centers of intuition. It's like your gut, right? Your na'au. And so you're going to take a deep breath in, and then exhale out. Relax the shoulders, soften the face, and taking a deep breath in. And on this one, we're just going to create a gentle humming sound within the body. So it's like that buzz, like remember we're replicating the bee sound. So it's going to be like this. And you can go ahead and do that, and we'll do about 10 rounds. And so as I'm talking, just keep going with your own breath and breathing in when you feel complete on that exhale. And just create that sound of the internal hum. Keeping that going. As your exhale completes, take a nice deep breath in. And when you're ready, create the sound again. And you'll start to feel this vibration in the throat and the chest and in the mouth area. You may even feel your teeth kind of start to shake or vibrate or chatter almost, and it almost sounds like a buzzing, like the bee. And so as you're creating this sound, as you're continuing with your breath, keep listening. You're going to feel that warming up in the throat and maybe even in the chest. You're going to start to feel that vibration. And what I want you to do as you continue to do this is to find a little internal smile by turning the outer edges of the lips up, just making that little smile with your lips, finding that joy and pleasure. So you're still making your sounds as I'm talking, breathing in and breathing out with your sound, creating that gentle humming vibration within you with a gentle smile on the lips here. And see if you can start to transition the forcing of that sound out to more of a pleasure. Like, how can that sound feel good in the body? How can it become joyful in your creation of sound? And this is where the alchemy begins, ladies, of not forcing the breath, but rather feeling, rather coming into that acceptance and understanding and that pleasure of the simplicity of creating sound. Keeping that going, we'll go a few more rounds. And just creating sound for pleasure's sake, for no other reason than just to create sound. And here you could also maybe play with different tones. Maybe you want to try a higher pitch, or maybe you want to try a lower pitch. Let's go 3 more times with your breath. Two more times, still finding the pleasure and the joy in the simplicity of creation of sound within you. Feeling your internal hum, that empowering feeling of this ability to create sound. Let's do one more all together. And just slowly taking a deep breath into your heart space, grateful for this ability to make sound, to feel breath moving through you as vibration. And exhaling out. Good. Go ahead and open your eyes when you feel ready. If there's anything you feel like sharing in the chat about your experience in that, I would love for you to share. Yes, the birds are totally here singing. The Manu, you felt that. I was like, I wonder if they hear that. Yes. So this is a really powerful practice, the Brahmari breath. I'll type it in here, Brahmari breath. Brahmari, it's also known as Brahmari pranayam. Pranayam in Sanskrit is simply breath, the breath work. Okay. Okay. Teen said it was really cool. I was harmonizing naturally with your voice. Beautiful. Yeah, the harmonies can start to come through. Shifting the perspective from pushing to pleasure. That's a really important part in the singing practice. So I'm glad you're recognizing that, Lisa. It's like finding that joy rather than the effort, the force. So if you can start to find that, it's going to save your voice from a lot of well, number one, it's going to create a more open sound rather than a tight or, compressed sound. And it's going to help to kind of save the muscles in your throat too. Harmonizing. Great. Yes. This is a really fun practice to do with friends or even lovers, just to play along with your voices and sing together. So I encourage you to do this. Did anybody have a full body whoa, that was pretty expansive and kind of big? It can kind of be a big